People are always talking about lines and wrinkles. Why are they talking about lines and wrinkles? Well, people recognize them, they have them, and they don't want them. Fortunately, there are two products that can be used to get rid of them, and that's Botox and fillers. We're going to spend some time this morning comparing and contrasting the two with Dr. Adrienne Curran. Adrienne, thank you for being back on the show with me today.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
Okay, now for our viewers who aren't familiar with Botox, Adrienne, can you explain what exactly it is?
Sure. Botox is actually a naturally occurring toxin. And what the mechanism whereby it works, it is injected into the skin and it migrates to the nerve cells. And it enables the nerve to no longer conduct an impulse by decreasing its ability to release a chemical called acetylcholine. That's a lot of chemical terms, but basically a nerve will be temporarily disabled and it will not be able to make a muscle contract. And if a muscle can't contract, then it can't form a wrinkle.
Okay, and now what about fillers, Adrienne?
Fillers work by a completely different mechanism, and they have an instantaneous effect. And where they're injected, they will volumize an area where collagen has been lost or where volume has migrated south due to gravity.
Okay, what would you say is the major difference between the two?
Mechanism of action and where we put it. Botox is great for the lines that form between your eyebrows. We call them the 11s or the glabellar lines. The lines on the forehead, the crow's feet, which happen in the corners of the eyes when you smile. And fillers, on the other hand, are going to work by adding volume back to areas in the face where you've lost it with age, such as the cheekbone area, the nasolabial folds here, or the marionette area, or the jawline, where jowling can start to happen in the 50 age range.
Okay, and now you said that fillers, they happen instantaneously. You can see the effect. What about with Botox?
Botox, because of its mechanism of action, is going to take a while to kick in, if you will. You'll get the injection today and you'll begin to see somewhat of an effect at day 4 to 5, with your maximal effect occurring around day 14.
Okay, and now what are the price range to Botox and fillers, Adrienne? Is it pretty reasonable or too high?
Well, you know, in these times, where money is hard to come by for anybody, it's an expensive beauty treatment, but in the long run, it's much cheaper than a facelift, and it enables people to avoid a facelift for at least 10 or 20 years. Botox, the way I charge is by the unit, and for me it's $10 a unit, and fillers, depending on which ones you're using, we charge by the syringe, and a syringe will either be $450 or $650.
Okay. And so once you pay that fee, now how often do you have to keep getting it done, Adrienne?
Sure. On the Botox, we recommend 3 to 4 months. And the nice part about Botox is if you come religiously for the first year, the time with which you have to come back spreads out and you get to use less as time goes by. So second year and third year, you start coming only twice a year, and you'll be able to use less Botox. Fillers will last anywhere from 6 months to 1.5 years to 2 years.
Okay, okay, so that has a little bit of a longer range, the fillers.
Absolutely.
Now, what I want to talk with you about, we talked about all the benefits, Adrienne, and you know, it sounds pretty appealing, but I'm sure that there are some consequences to the two. What are some of the consequences?
Absolutely. With the botulism toxin, the immediate things that can happen are, of course, an allergic reaction. You can get an allergic reaction with any medication or product, but the allergic reactions are virtually unheard of. At the site where you're injected, you're going to have a little bit of redness and swelling. It looks similar to a mosquito bite, and that usually goes away in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes, if we get into a blood vessel, you can have a small bruise in the area where you had your injection, and that will take as long as you usually take to have your bruising heal. For most people, a week, and complete healing at 2 weeks.
Okay.
And with the fillers, it's basically the same kind of thing, bruising and swelling. But the other thing that the fillers can do is they can form small granules, if you will, and it can be a lump that can be palpable or be seen. If that happens, we have antidotes that we can inject in that make those balls or granules smooth out. So.
Okay. How long have you been offering these services, Adrienne?
About 6 years now.
About 6 years.
Mhm.
And now we've had Adrienne on the show before to talk about her new business that she's going to be opening soon in Duval Square called Dr. Spa. And Adrienne, you're going to be offering all of this at Dr. Spa, correct?
Absolutely, with a few additions in that we'll be doing skincare. So we'll be offering medical grade peels, microdermabrasion, depigmentation peels, as well as some massage. And Dr. Smith, my partner, will be offering age management as well.
You guys are going to have so many wonderful services over at Dr. Spa, and it
We
will be
think so.
opening, yeah, oh absolutely. It will be opening mid-August is what you're hoping for?
Yes, Jenna. Mhm.
Okay, and Adrienne, before we go, you know, you said you've been doing this for about 6 years now. What's the response you always get from your clients, Adrienne?
You know, it's one of the most gratifying things I've done in medicine, because people will look in the mirror, especially after they've had filler, and they'll say, oh my God, that's what I used to look like. And they'll cry, and they hug me, and it's pretty amazing feeling.
So it's very
Yeah.
gratifying for you, and you haven't ran into too many clients then who have had these negative consequences happen.
Not at all. You know, I've had to use the antidote for the filler twice, and both times the result was excellent. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing all of
Sure.
this with us this morning, and I can't wait for Dr. Spa to open come August.
Thanks, me too.
All right, everybody, we have to take a quick break, but I'll be right back after these messages. Stay with me.